If I told you that your mind is not just a passenger in your life, but the driver, that every thought you've ever had, every worry, every spark of joy has silently sculpted your world. Buddhism teaches this truth. With our thoughts, we make the world, not as metaphor, as law. And today you'll learn to wield this power. Chapter 1. The mind as a gardener. Imagine two gardeners. One plants seeds of gratitude, patience, and trust. The other sows weeds of resentment and fear. By harvest, their lives tell two different stories. This is your mind. Every thought is a seed. Neuroscience confirms it. Negative thoughts etch grooves in your brain like rivers carving stone. But here's the miracle: you can replant. At 30 or 80, it's never too late. The Buddha called this karma of the mind, not punishment, cause and effect. Think I'm unworthy enough times, the mind believes it. Think I am learning, I am enough, the mind blossoms. Close your eyes. Ask, what thought have I watered most this week? Is it a flower or a weed? Don't judge it, just name it. Ah, this is doubt, this is joy. Now choose one to uproot, one to water. Chapter 2, Mindfulness. Most suffering comes from a simple habit, the mind chewing on the past or fearing the future. Buddhism's antidote: be here now, not as cliché, as lifeline. Mindfulness is the practice of waking up from autopilot. For example, when anger arises, instead of thinking I am angry, you observe anger is here. This tiny shift, seeing the thought instead of being it, changes everything. Studies on monks show this. Mindfulness shrinks the amygdala, your brain's fear center, and thickens the prefrontal cortex, your wisdom center. In plain terms, you react less, you choose more. Try this now. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6. With each breath, whisper, this moment is enough. Do this daily. Watch how your mind begins to settle like muddy water left undisturbed. Chapter 3, Loving Kindness. In Tibet, there's a saying, a heart full of love is a heart full of life. Science agrees. Harvard found loneliness ages the brain faster than smoking. But Buddhism offers an antidote older than labs: metta-loving kindness. It starts with a phrase, may I be happy, may I be safe, may I live with ease. Then you extend it outward to a loved one, a neutral face, even someone who hurt you. Why? Because hatred is a poison you drink yourself. Story. A 68-year-old veteran named Roy used metta to heal his PTSD. Every night he'd whisper, may my wartime enemy find peace. Over months his nightmares faded. His doctor said, your cortisol levels dropped 30%. Place a hand on your heart. Repeat silently, may I be free from suffering. Feel the warmth. Now picture someone you love. Send them the same wish. Notice how your chest softens. This is the science of compassion. Chapter 4, The Alchemy of Suffering. A Zen master once said, no mud, no lotus. The most beautiful flowers grow from the darkest soil. In your life, the very struggles you resist, the grief, the regrets, the fears, are the raw materials for your awakening. Buddhism doesn't teach us to avoid suffering. It teaches us to alchemize it. How? by meeting pain with a mind trained in clarity and compassion. Chapter 5, The Art of Letting Go. We cling to relationships, to youth, to memories, as if holding tighter could stop time. But the Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering, not love, not joy, the desperate grip that says this must never change. An 85-year-old monk once told me the secret to happiness: hold everything like a butterfly in your palm. Tighten your grip and you crush it. Open your hand and it may stay. Sit quietly. Think of one thing you're clinging to, a regret, a lost love, a fear of aging. Imagine placing it on a leaf in a river. Watch it float away. Whisper, "I trust the flow of life." Repeat until your breath softens. Chapter 6, Rejoicing in Others' Joy. In a world obsessed with comparison, Buddhism offers a radical practice, Mudita, finding joy in others' happiness. When a friend succeeds, instead of thinking, "Why not me?" we whisper, "Your joy is my joy." This isn't idealism. It's neuroscience. Celebrating others' wins triggers the same dopamine release as our own. Maria, 72 years old, practiced Mudita daily. When her neighbor bought a new car, she baked them cookies. "Their blessing doesn't erase mine," she said. Over time, her chronic envy vanished, along with her high blood pressure. Close your eyes. Picture someone who has what you desire. Say, "May your happiness grow. May it inspire me." Feel the tension melt. This is how we turn scarcity into abundance. In Part 3, we'll explore the greatest freedom of all, embracing impermanence. How to age without fear, love without clinging, and live as if each moment were your last. Until then, practice Mudita. And remember, the mind that lets go becomes light enough to fly. Chapter 7, The Wisdom of Impermanence. Look at your hands. The skin that once was smooth now tells the story of decades lived. Every line, every mark, proof of a life fully experienced. The Buddha taught that impermanence is not our enemy, but our wisest teacher. In Japan, there's a practice called kintsugi, repairing broken pottery with gold. The cracks aren't hidden, they are celebrated. This is how we must view our aging, not as decline, but as art. Chapter 8, Death as a Mirror. In Tibet, monks meditate on death not to frighten themselves, but to wake up. They ask, "If I died tonight, what would matter? The grudges I held, the love I withheld." A hospice nurse once shared that her patients never spoke of wishing they'd worked more or earned more. Their regrets were always about love, the hugs not given, the forgiveness delayed. Close your eyes. Imagine you have 5 minutes to live. What thought would you choose to dwell on? A sunset? A grandchild's laugh? Hold that image, breathe into it. This is how we discover what truly matters. Chapter 9, The Legacy Meditation. You are not just a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. Every act of kindness, every word of truth ripples far beyond your years. This is the Buddhist view of legacy, not monuments, but imprints on the heart. Consider this. The way you handle anger today may teach your granddaughter resilience. The joy you cultivate could inspire a stranger 3 generations hence. Sit quietly, place hands on your heart, Ask, what qualities do I want to leave behind? Peace, courage, joy. Imagine these as seeds in the soil of time. Then whisper, may they grow long after I'm gone. Closing, your mind, your masterpiece. The Buddha's final words were, strive on with awareness, not achieve enlightenment, not never suffer, just pay attention. Choose wisely. You've spent decades believing your mind was fixed, that worry, fear, or negativity were just who you are. Now you know the truth. Your mind is a garden, every thought a seed, every moment a chance to replant. So as the light of this video fades, I leave you with one question. What will you plant tomorrow?